Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. Hope you're having a good start to your week so far. It's Sunday. We just got home from church. Mike and Frankie had to go get the propane tanks refilled after church, so we actually took separate cars, and I had to run a couple quick errands in town after church too. So they actually just got home, and I've been home for a couple minutes. We are processing the rest of our Cornish cross meat chickens this afternoon because I leave on Friday and I'll be gone for a week. So in California. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of got the birds done this week. And I kind of figured I would have time this next week to kind of do them by myself. But my week rapidly filled up. And so I'm like, eee! And so we talked about it the other day, and we're like, well, let's just do it Sunday after church, after Sunday lunch. You know, if the three of us work on it, we can bang it out pretty quickly because there's about 20 birds left, which is not a ton to do. And with three of us doing it, we can usually, you know, even by myself, I can bang them out pretty quickly. But it's nice to have help, especially if somebody can at least collect the birds for me. We usually put them in a big pen and stick them in the back of the Polaris so that then you just go and get a bird every time out of the back of the Polaris, and you're not having to bend over and catch birds constantly. So I usually send Frankie to go catch all the birds, throw them in the pen, and then we kind of work off of them that way. So it should be pretty quick. I'm hoping we can get them all done with setup and breakdown. I'm going to say 3.5 hours. Just because it takes a little bit to set up, it takes a little bit to clean everything up, but the actual time of processing isn't that long. So should be able to conquer that pretty quickly. But Mike pressure canned a bunch of the chicken from the last batch that we just did the other night, and I think he might be pressure canning some of these and breaking them down, and we might make some more stock and do some of that with this next batch as well, because the freezers are pretty full. And out here, you know, in California, I would sell out of birds very easily. Here, it's not really been a thing. I haven't really been able to sell any meat birds here. So, which is fine. I'm good with that. You know, it's a lot of work. So I think, you know, I may just kind of do enough for like us and our kind of family that's like right here, our neighbors and stuff that we spend so much time with, and just kind of do enough chicken for us, and call it good, you know. And then we can really focus on, you know, our sheep and stuff. And then we'll still do, you know, we usually still do our own turkeys for Thanksgiving and that kind of thing. But we'll see, you know, moving forward, that might change again, you know, but as it stands right now, I think that's kind of our game plan. Frankie had a good first week at school. And she actually worked on the truck yesterday quite a bit. So this next week's videos on Tuesday and Friday, you will see some of the big things that she kind of did on the truck. I won't spoil too much of it for you, but her boyfriend was over helping a little bit. I mean, Frankie did the work herself. He helped her with some things, but those two are funny together. They were cracking me up. They're a hoot. And she made some headway on it. Nothing that, you know, really gets it road ready right now, but things that needed done. So be some truck videos this week. I know a few of you have been asking about the status of the truck, and truck is, you know, kind of in pieces at the moment. Definitely not drivable, but it was things that we needed to suss out and to investigate fully, and things that needed to happen in order for other things to now be able to kind of the pace to be picked up on. So, and Frankie actually, I think it's in the second video that I'm going to be working on of the second part that she did pretty much by herself, because her boyfriend had to leave and her dad was working on a different project in the shop. She she kind of opens up about her truck and working on the truck and her thoughts on it. And I kind of found it really sweet and fascinating and just sort of a little interesting peek into her little soul and her psyche on the topic. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm kind of excited to share that with you as like a proud mama, like just a little bit of her, and her thought process on stuff. So I think that'll be good. But I am a little stressed this week. I have a lot to cram in a short period of time. I got to get everything packed. I got to get the animals ready for me to be gone. Um, I've got to. I always like to leave the house clean, so I'm trying to figure out when I'm gonna have time to really do I just did a deep clean, but by the time I'm leaving, it needs, toilet's gonna need scrubbed again. So I'm trying to figure out if I can maybe do some of that on Thursday. But Thursday I need to get to bed really early because I have to get up at like 2 in the morning, basically Friday morning to, kind of do your last minute packing, your toiletries and stuff. And then I've got a, 2-hour drive to Memphis. And then I like to get to the airport 2 hours early because I am that person. I'm very paranoid about my flights and, so I am at that airport 2.5 hours. I've had myself lots of time. I'm never stressed because when something does happen, I'm not like racing to get to the airport, and I've flown out of Memphis now enough that like I'm familiar with it, which is nice too. Like I know where to go park and I know how it is at security there and like, that kind of stuff. Whereas sometimes when you're in an airport you're not familiar with, you're like, what terminal, like San Diego terminal is a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm leaving, I have to really pay attention because you have to, when I return the rental car, you have to go to a completely different area than the airport, and you have to get on the correct shuttle to take you to the correct terminal. Because it's such a big airport that, like one time I accidentally went through the wrong terminal and ended up having to go through security twice because I had to leave when I realized I was at the wrong gate numbers, and go through security a second time. Thank goodness I had padded myself 2.5 hours, right? I had plenty of time to go through security all over again on the other end of the airport, So anyway, so I have all that to kind of do and some other little things that I just want to kind of take care of around the house before I go. And then, you guys know I play bunco out here once a month, but we take a break from May to August, like basically over the summer. We don't meet for bunco because people are on vacation, people are traveling, it's busy, whatever, so we don't meet during those months. Well, of course, we're meeting starting back up again now that the kids are back in school. So I have bunco on Monday, I've got the farrier coming on Tuesday, I've got an appointment in Starkville on Tuesday afternoon, I've got our Live With You Wednesday and something else Wednesday, which I can't remember right now, and something on Thursday. Oh, Frankie's got practice, so I have to pick her up, or I'm gonna have to have Mike pick her up because she doesn't get out practice till late, and I hopefully will already be in bed asleep. But yeah, I've got to try to cram in editing the 2 videos, which today that won't happen because processing birds. I did already move all my files, but they're not sorted yet. So, but I did a little bit of that this morning before church. So tomorrow I'm gonna have to get cracking. If I can get through at least one full video done and rendered on Monday, today, as you guys are seeing this, before I leave for bunco, and then maybe when I get back from bunco, I might at least start on the second one. So Tuesday I can kind of get a jump start on Friday's video so that the rest of the week I can work on some of the other things around here that I want to get done. That's my goal. That's my goal. We'll see. But I'm excited to get home and to see everybody and see my mom and see my aunt and some of my really close friends, and just kind of hug everybody's necks and all of that. So just, maybe I am a little anxious about this trip, just because I've shared with you guys before, sometimes, I worry about my mom. She's by herself. She's a widow, just maybe say a little prayer for me this week that things go smoothly, smooth travels, and smooth conversations with my mom, and um, that everything goes peacefully. That's what I my little ask from you guys today, as you see this. But uh, you'll see new videos, regular videos this week. However, I planned on banking videos so that I could post them the week that I'm gone. It didn't happen. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen. However, Mike, as you know or don't know, maybe he does TikTok. 3 Mississippi Mike on TikTok, and it's actually become kind of a big TikTok. Like, it's continually growing. He does really well on there. He's done sponsorships on there. He's now part of a group that is considered the learning up and comers on TikTok. And it's like this big forum with, I think there's like 20 of them in there. And each one is from their own little niche. Like, one guy does like little lists of things, and somebody else does like real niche history stuff. And anyway, there's all these different little categories, but they all basically are learning channels, or you know. And so he's been kind of active on there. So some of the TikToks that he's done will get posted as shorts on the 3 Mississippi YouTube channel the week that I'm gone. So I will still be putting out Sippin' and Spillins while I'm there. So you will still get a little snippet of what's going on while I'm gone. And I'm going to try to, I know last week I only posted like 1 or 2 Sippin' and Spillins. I'm going to try to post more this week because I've just been awful about that. And I'm sorry. But I've just been a little bit in my head lately also. Confession. Just a little bit in my head lately. So trying to not do that, because worrying is a sin, and I'm trying to like give it over to the Lord and just not worry. I'm trying to bring it to Him. So part of that is I need to like get back into routine of things, and I need to not let the noise in my head get so loud. So I need shh. Simmer down. Simmer down. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But gotta get in there and get a couple things ready for Sunday lunch, because we have to leave for that soon. And then we're gonna get back here and process some birds. So I'm hoping. I've had a little rough week with my back and my hips this week. So I'm hoping that they don't give out on me. They gave out on me a little bit yesterday while I was filming Frankie, because I was standing for a really long time on the gravel, and I think that's what did it, was I was standing on the gravel. So we have like an outdoor mat that they use to get under the car. I think I'm going to throw that down where I'm processing so I can stand on that mat, and maybe that'll help a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you're having a blessed week so far. And as always, remember, safety's off. I'm sticking to the chair. You know it's hot when you're sticking to the chair.